Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Rowell. Alright, this is going to be kind of a sad one today. For those of you who don't know, who don't follow the Facebook page or weren't on the live stream the other day, I had a little sad news here. One of my kitties, Nibble, passed away. From my perspective, it was yesterday morning. It was on February 8th, sometime between when I got up in the morning and when I went to work. And now I got to deal with that. I've been thinking about this for a long time. I've known that Nibble was declining for the past few weeks, so I've been putting some thought into this about what comes after. And one of the things I've been thinking for a long time. I knew I was going to lose pets, and I need to designate an area in the yard for where we're going to put those pets when we lose them. And that's sort of what we're going to have to deal with today. So let me show you what I have in mind. So this is a section in the back of the yard. This is where Flash's cave is, where my garden, which is no longer doing anything this year, is. And it's also kind of been an area where I kind of just dump lumber and stuff like that. But what I want to do today is get this all cleaned up, and this is going to be the new pet cemetery here. Like I said, I want to get all the lumber out of here, all the junk out of here, get the leaves out of here, get it all cleaned up, and then we're going to make a nice little hole in here. And what I want to do is put some sort of paving stone, probably something like this thing here that's leaning against the wall on top of Nibble's grave. And then I found this great little place in a town about 15 miles from here called Bruceville Eddy. There's a place called I-35 Statuary. In fact, I've been there a couple of times, picked up things. I discovered originally that gorilla that's in front of that house in downtown Waco, called Darwin the gorilla, he actually came from this place, and I've been there a couple times. I bought my bird bath that you see there, and I bought the little eagle that I got in the middle of the yard over here from that place. And they got all sorts of little animals that you can get. And I started looking at their website the other day and realized they have like little dogs and cats and stuff like that too. Probably, just in the $10 to $20 range. It's clearly that, designed maybe for like grave markers and stuff like that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of paving stone like that, put that in the area, put one of these little statue kitties on top of it, and then maybe get a little metal plate that says her name and her birth and death date and stuff like that, and that's going to be her grave marker. So that's what we're going to do today, is we're going to get this area cleaned up. I also got to build a box for Nibble, because I'm not just going to put her in the ground. So yeah, that's where we are today. Aren't you glad you tuned in? And of course, the other half of this equation is this guy. He's been with Nibble his whole life. Their first adventure together was them being abandoned in my backyard and trying to fend for themselves. Them starting a new home, a new life when they got adopted by me. And Nibble's been part of his life his entire life. And he's dealing with it all right, but he's become a lot more clingy in the last day or so. So I'm going to have to give him some extra special attention, just to help him get over this. Hopefully we can help each other get over this. Now, like I said, I found out about this yesterday morning and then proceeded to go to work. I halfway thought about calling in and reporting sick, and because I don't do that very often. But at that point, I kind of decided, what, I think I just want to kind of keep my mind off of it right now. And going to work and doing my job seemed like a good way to do that. It didn't always work. There were a couple points I kind of stopped and thought about it and kind of teared up a little, but I did manage to kind of keep it clamped down. But I know once I get her in the ground that I'll feel a lot better. So the sooner we can do that, the better. Now, fortunately for me, I have some lumber left over from previous projects, so I'm not even going to have to take a trip to Home Depot. And so this will make this simple. It's going to be a real simple box. It's probably going to be almost like about the size of a shoe box, but maybe a little narrower. And it's going to be just big enough to hold her. We'll put a little blanket in on top of her and seal the thing up, and then we'll have to just put it in the ground. So first thing I'm going to do is fabricate the box out of the pieces I have here. All right, a short time has passed, and I have actually got the main box constructed. It's actually going to be a little bit bigger than a shoe box, but it will allow me to put her in there without having to crunch her up too much. I also got a towel that I'm going to put in on top of her just to kind of act like a blanket. I know towels don't really do that much good to dead creatures, but it's a sentiment, right? So I'm going to put that in here. We're going to get her into the box. We're going to get it all closed up, and we'll continue from there. All right, a little bit of time has passed. What I wanted to do is I wanted to wrap Nibble in a towel before we sealed her up inside the box. So I had a towel in mind. I wanted to run it through the wash so it was clean. It's clean now. I wrapped her up in it. We put her in the box, put the lid on top of it, and sealed it closed. And as one final step, I decided to wrap the whole thing in a thick 3 mil thick trash bag. This will kind of protect the contents inside from moisture, because I want to leave her resting in peace. And unfortunately, the plywood that the box is made out of will deteriorate pretty quick with exposure to the moisture in the ground. So hopefully wrapping it up in the plastic like this will preserve the box for a long time and keep the whole thing from collapsing in on itself over time. So we got her in here. We're ready to go. Next step is to get a hole dug in the backyard, and I'm going to probably pick that one up tomorrow. So I'll catch up with you then. So now that that's done, the next step is to kind of get this area ready. And the first thing I need to do is I got to get rid of all this old lumber. This is the actual, most of this is the lumber that was the original planter that was here when I bought the house. As you know, I ripped that out and put in these 2 new planters here. So we got to move these out of here. They've just been kind of sitting here, and I don't know, I'll probably throw them over in the back corner over there. Some of these parts of these yards, some of this part of the yard here, I just kind of let it go natural in a lot of ways, and this is one of them. This is kind of flash, this area, so I try not to make it too overly manicured in here. But like I said, I got to move this over there because this is where we need to be. All right, I've cleared all the excess lumber out of here. As I started moving the lumber, I started thinking, why am I just moving just another place just to have it rot in my yard? The only thing this lumber is good for anymore is going in the fireplace. So what I did is I moved it over there against that tree, and we're gonna gradually over the next few days or so cut that down into fire pit size chunks. That'll actually come in real nice because we're kind of going into a cold streak here over the next few days. The temperature dropped for about 30 degrees since yesterday. So got the leaves out of here. This is basically where I'm thinking I'm going to put Nibble right here. I think this is just an extra piece of stone here that I have that I probably just put there at some point, and I think I'm going to use that as the base for the little statue kitty will sit on, and also the little plate that I'm going to make. So next thing I think we got to do here is dig the hole. So I've started digging out the hole here. I'm about 12 inches down already. I've already hit the limestone. Yeah, there's a lot of that under here. So I've talked about that before, but fortunately it's kind of in a moist area right now, so it's breaking up pretty easy with the digger bar. I can just break it up in little chunks and bring it out in little chunks, and that's what we're gonna have to do. I think I want to have it about 6 more inches deep before we finish this off, so got a little bit more work to do. I'll catch up with you. All right, the hole's a little bit deeper, and I think this is about as deep as I'm going to get it. I'm really starting to get into the limestone now, and it's a real chore just to get in every couple of inches out of there. So I think this is going to be good enough. Got to do the first fit in right now, make sure the box fits in there. I might have to shape it a little bit, and then we can get this job finished. Alright, so the box is in the hole. It's actually fitting pretty well, so I don't think I need to make any adjustments. It was kind of a trick to figure out how to get it into the hole, because the box is only a little bit smaller than the hole itself, and there really wasn't room to get your fingers in there. And I used this strap and kind of had the strap go around it under a couple times, kind of based on the way they actually put human caskets in the ground. There's this little pulley thing that lowers down. This is the same basic idea, and it dropped in there in the first shot. So I think this is going to be our final word on our good friend Nibble. So Rest in peace, Nibble. You were a good pet. Alright, I've neatened up the location and put the base for the monument, for lack of a better term. I don't know how much I've talked about this before, so let me tell you what I have in mind. You may recall a while back, I went over to a local statuary and they had like bird baths, and I got like a stone eagle that's in the back of my backyard here. Well, I noticed that they have little small little figurines of pets, dogs and cats, and I was thinking, you know what, maybe that's the way to go for this. We'll put a little figurine of a cat on top of it and then get a little marker, a little plate like I did with the when I dedicated my workbench to my dad, just a little metal plate or a little plastic plate that we can attach to the base of the marker there, and I think that will be a real good kind of a graveside marker kind of thing for her. So that's what I have in mind for that. I'm going to probably try and go out and get the plate itself made today, because that may take them a day or so to do. I can't go to the statuary place till tomorrow because they're closed on Mondays. So we'll probably do that tomorrow, and you'll have to see the little kitty go on top of the marker in another video. So I think that's about all that I have for today. Sorry that this one is a little bit of a downer, but that's the sort of the price you get when you tune into this vlog and I'm telling you my story of my life here, because sometimes it's happy stories, sometimes it's not. This was definitely not one of the happier ones, but Nibble was a good kitty, and I'm glad she's at peace now, and I'll miss her, and I love her, and I wish her the best. I hope I see her again.